Hello and welcome to the Tuesday, September 16th, 2025 edition of the SANS Internet Storm Center's Stormcast. My name is Johannes Ulrich, recording today from Jacksonville, Florida. And this episode is brought to you by the SANS.edu Graduate Certificate Program in Cyber Defense Operations. And today was Apple's big annual update where they released new versions of their operating systems. Now, these are new major versions. First of all, there are, in addition, of course, to the widely publicized new features, there are 33 vulnerabilities that were addressed across the different operating systems. You do not have to upgrade to the latest, greatest 26 version of the operating systems. They also today released minor updates for the last releases of these operating systems. So you can, for now, stick with those earlier releases, basically last year's release of the operating system. Depends how, risk adverse you are, whether or not you're going to wait a little bit to update to the 26th version of the operating system, or if there is a particular feature that you like. At this point, I haven't heard about any major issues around these updates other than Apple's servers being kind of slow, and it takes quite a while to actually download many of these updates. The older operating system updates, they appear to download pretty quickly, so it looks like they may have some a little bit different infrastructure or some load sharing setup or so to prioritize a little bit these older operating systems. So that should be an easier upgrade. One thing I'm interested in, if someone went ahead and upgraded, if there are any security issues that you had, in the sense, any existing security software that you have installed on these systems that no longer works. At this point, I haven't really seen any real problems there. I saw some reports about Palo Alto Networks Global Protect, their VPN setup, having some issues. So that's something to look out for. I did a quick basic Google search and looked for company statements and such, and found like CrowdStrike, Little Snitch, Microsoft Defender. They state that their software is compatible and should have no problems with the new version of iOS and macOS. So then again, if you run into any issues, please let me know. Like with any brand new operating system, it just came out a few hours ago. There's probably a lot of issues that haven't really yet been discovered. Also, if you do see that a particular software is compatible with the operating system, the details usually matter, like detailed configuration, options, or anything that you did that's not sort of default for a particular software could always introduce problems with a major operating system update like this. Well, and let's move over from Apple to Microsoft. A reminder that a month from today, essentially October 14th, we'll lose any remaining support for Windows 10. So by now, you must have upgraded to Windows 11. At the same time, we will also lose support for Exchange Server 2016 and Exchange Server 2019. I will link in the show notes to the respective announcements by Microsoft. The Microsoft announcement will say T-minus 9 months, because what I'm linking to was published back in January, and it really spells out no more technical support, no more bug fixes, no more security fixes, and specifically for Exchange, no time zone updates, which is an interesting thing they point out here as a separate thing they're updating, but definitely again, you must upgrade either to a newer version, or as Microsoft really wants you to do, is wants you to upgrade or move over to Microsoft 365 as sort of their currently preferred and fully supported solution for that kind of email and messaging. Last week, we had this big compromise on NPM based on, well, a simple phishing email. Turns out that JavaScript developers aren't the only targets here. There are reports that Rust developers, for example, are also seeing similar emails. Now, for Rust, they're, of course, not going after NPM. They're going after crates. And crates.io is the system being used to basically have a package repository for Rust. And yes, they are going after developer credentials here with relatively straightforward, but still a plausible phishing email. So certainly something that a developer could fall for. And Samsung released its September update for its mobile devices, essentially its flagship phones. And one of the vulnerabilities being addressed here is already exploited in the wild, CVE 2025-21043. It's a lip image codec vulnerability. Now, we had similar vulnerabilities, also image related, lately in iOS, also Android, that were already exploited. I'm not sure if this one is related. It's possible. It has a different CVE number. Also, this CVE number, I didn't see it in the last Android update. So this may be something specific to Samsung, even though it does affect its Android phones from version Android 13 through 16. Well, and this is it for today. So thanks again for listening. Thanks for subscribing and liking and leaving good comments about this podcast. And as always, talk to you again tomorrow. Bye.